And what we found fascinating is that worldwide, healthcare, we often don't think about it like that. But in any economy, healthcare is between 10% and 20% of the economy. So, for example, US, healthcare is about 18% or 19% of the economy. On the flip side, in a place like India, where the healthcare services are very undernourished, right? As a country, it will be it's a smaller percentage. But in the Western world, it is anywhere between 10 to 20% of the economy, which is very large, right? There is no other sector which is as large as healthcare, if you think about it from a purely economy perspective. And what we also found fascinating about healthcare is because of the complexity, it is a much more difficult space to become good at. And I say that more to excite students of IIT, this is not to kind of scare you guys away. See, easy problems anybody can do, in some ways, right? But tougher problems, you need smarter guys to do that, right? So because healthcare is a much more involved space, right? It needs more, depth of understanding. It needs more expertise. It's not everybody's cup of tea. The problems in healthcare, right, are often so basic, right, that as a 21-year-old person, right, you have one of two options. Either you say, you know what, it's too complicated, I can't deal with it, right? So let me go and take a banking or a consulting job, okay? Or it fascinates you and say, hey, you know what, this is a space which is so large and is so important, right? And by the way, there is enough opportunity to make money, right? So if somebody told you, right, that you can't make money, then you have to say, no, 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 but I met this guy called Rizwan, right? He actually made also, he not only helped solve problems, we also made some money. The number of organizations from a healthcare ecosystem perspective, right, is not just doctors and hospitals. It includes pharma companies, insurance companies, medical technology companies, healthcare software companies, device companies. It's a huge ecosystem. But most of us, right, don't even know that exists, because, it's not like going to a restaurant or making a hotel booking or taking a flight where all of us get involved, right? When you're 21 years old and, maybe somebody in your family was unwell, so you went visited a hospital, you've never seen the opportunity from your own eyes, in some ways. And that's the fascinating world, which is going to get digitized over the course of the next 10, 20 years in India and, of course, worldwide, creating a massive opportunity for digital health on a global basis. Yeah. I think there are 5 avenues from a career perspective. Okay. It's not necessarily in certain order, but let me just walk through the 5. Okay. So the first one is working with what I would call healthcare software companies and device companies, right? And there are a very large number of them in India. The second big opportunity is working for companies like Citius Tech, right? And there are a whole bunch of companies like that, right? From the big guys like Infosys, TCS, Accenture, Capgemini. All these companies do a significant amount of work in healthcare. The third broad area, I would say, is working with other Indian organizations, right? So which would they mean? It could be large hospital systems. It could be health insurance companies. It could be those kinds of organizations, and there are many right now, who are doing exceptional work, and there's a lot of opportunity, right? The fourth area is just joining research organizations, right? Because you feel so fascinated about this, right? Research organizations, either in India or overseas. And the last one is academics, right? Today, if you just go and do research, right? If you look at the top universities, whether you look at a Harvard, whether you look at Johns Hopkins, whether you look at a Stanford, whether you look at an MIT, you look at Chicago, you look at, and just look at the caliber of their healthcare informatics programs and the kind of work that they are doing, you will find that the ability to be able to position yourself into one of these top universities is just fascinating. It is very competitive to get into Stanford, yeah, because you're trying to get into Stanford as an why? What is your interest? It's AI machine learning, right? But imagine you wanted to get to Stanford and you were interested in digital health, right? And you could say, by the way, I worked with this orthopedic doctor, and this is a paper that we got published, and this is what we did in taking real data for knee deformity and being able to improve that. Yeah. I can make a case any day, right? That your odds of going into Stanford have just gone up by at least some multiple. I don't know whether the multiple is 2 or it's 5 or it's 10. I don't know that. But you'll be talking about something that nobody else in your peer group is going to be talking about. Yeah. Typical hospital in the US has 200 applications. Okay. Now, maybe hospitals in India don't have 200. Maybe they only have 20, right? But guess what? In the next 10, 20 years, they're also going to need a lot of software. They're going to need a lot of opportunity to evolve, right? And that's where there's going to be a massive transformation. Digital health is about looking at healthcare data and analyzing it using conventional analytics tools, using AI machine learning tools. Digital health includes consumer health, right? So a lot of healthcare. See, if you look at any of your phones and all the ancillary devices, okay? So today, for example, if you have an iPhone or you have an Android phone, right? Just look at the healthcare features in that phone. And what you will find is that the number of healthcare features which the phone is able to track now, right? Earlier it was doing basic stuff, right? There was an app for counting calories and all that, like really, really baby stuff, right? Now it's getting serious. Yeah. For example, if you're interested, look up the last couple of videos made by Apple on the new iWatch. And what you will find is that if it's a 3-minute video, 1.5 minutes was devoted to innovation they made in capturing healthcare data on the iWatch. So the world of an engineer has moved away from biology in 10th standard. And see, 10th standard, we all know, right? We only know so much in the 10th standard, right? In some ways. And the world of doctors has moved away from engineering or mathematics, right? In the 10th standard. So now that creates a fascinating opportunity because in digital health, right, you have to marry the understanding of biology and medicine, etc., with a deep understanding of math and sciences and all of that, right, to be able to put together to create something which is more meaningful. And therefore, it's not possible for a IIT guy or a bunch of IIT guys sitting in there, they can definitely build an app to sell flowers online, right? They could even build an app to, do some other, whatever, internet app for code sharing or whatever else. They can do all that, but they can't build a truly healthcare solution very easily because it needs clinical context. And the clinical guys may be sitting on a huge amount of problems and they have no idea how to solve it, which may be so obvious to the folks who have the kind of background that IIT students have, Okay. So that's where the opportunity is. That's where the magic is going to happen. If you can move the needle on a hard problem, okay, and on an area with not too many people are working, right? So one thing I just hope I communicate across in this meeting today, right, is guys, if you want to have a differentiated career, right, then you have to do something differentiated, right? If your input is the same, but you're expecting a different output, then I don't think you are being fair to yourself. Yeah. So you have to look at it and say, hey, you know what? What truly inspires me? What truly excites me, right? Then if it is truly exciting and inspiring, then I will take the leap of faith here. Don't be worried about lack of job opportunities, okay? I think there are lots of job opportunities out there, okay? Real job opportunities. Will they pay as much as Goldman Sachs? Probably not, right? Will they pay as much as Tower Research? I mean, I don't know. I just get to hear from some of the students, right? Some of these names I didn't even know they existed when I was on campus. Or consulting organization. They probably won't pay that much, right? But what it may do for you, which some of these other jobs may not do, is it may land you in a spot where 5 years from today, you may have a career path where you may maybe making 5x the amount of money you made, right? Then you would be working in any of these organizations. Why? Because you crack something new, right? Be very hard to do that in a consulting job. Trust me. Right? Then you join high and then you remain there, right? Here you may not be at that same level, but then you can leapfrog, yeah. Because it's a exciting, world out there, right? Where there is lots of opportunity. Yeah. See, there's one thing about, hey, can I get a great job? And the answer is yes. Can I make a lot of money? The answer is yes, right? But there's something more gratifying, yeah. You could be doing and I don't have anything against mobile gaming, right? But I could make a case that, solving real world problems in healthcare will be a gratifying experience for you from a career standpoint, or at least evaluate as a career. I don't believe that a 1 year minors program or a IEEE program brands you for life. That way, all civil engineers would be branded for 4 years. They're doing only civil engineering. They didn't get branded as civil engineers, and the meta guys didn't get branded as meta guys, and people like me in elect didn't get branded as elect guys. So I don't think that 1 year in the IEEE or a minor program is going to brand you as a healthcare guy for life. I don't think that's going to happen, right? But it's going to give you an opportunity to do something truly distinctive in a very, very upcoming area where the game has just started. In many areas, I would say, like now you are building algorithms for optimizing stock market, right? Now that game has been played for like 20 years. Yeah. Now, will you be successful? Of course, some of you guys will be successful in building because you'll come up with that small incremental enhancement. You'll make a lot of money, right? In some ways, I'm sure that will happen. Okay. But here is a completely virgin area, just tons of opportunity. Okay. This was yeah, quite an exciting conversation. I hope some of my enthusiasm around digital health will have a positive rub-on effect on some of you guys. So I hope that happens. But I must say that in summary, right, extremely fascinating area. A little less understood, which actually makes it even more interesting for people, who are willing to tread down a path of something which is new. It is not a niche area. It's a huge area worldwide. Please go and do your own research, and my request to you is if it's even modestly interesting to you, spend 2 hours, on a weekday, weekend, whenever you have time, and just type these words in Google, digital health innovation, digital health growth, healthcare, technology trends, whatever, right? And just read about it for 2 hours. And my commitment to you is that at the end of the 2 hours, right, you will make a much more informed decision on how you want to take it forward. If there's any help you need from the core team, obviously you'll go and ask. But if there are any specific questions, right, imagine, for example, there are half a dozen of you guys and you all are like right on the borderline. Should I do it, not do it, whatever, right? And you guys have any open questions, I'll be very happy to engage and, answer some of those questions if required. So this is part and parcel of our commitment to, ensuring that we get the center off to an awesome start. Yeah. So thank you very much, everyone. And this was a pleasure talking to you guys today.